there comes a time in a caterpillar's life when it no longer makes sense being a caterpillar. It just has this incredible urge for change. Things just aren't making sense the way they used to, and it then enters into the pupa stage, and that shedding of its old self as a caterpillar, it creates this cocoon around it, and the whole thing dissolves into this thick, gooey mess. There is no trace of the caterpillar whatsoever. Nothing. It's just complete and utter goo. But then what emerges is the structures of a butterfly, and it's the butterfly that can then, emerge and fly, and then, really be its beautiful, radiant self. And I love this analogy for our human journey as well, because a lot of people, don't even know what inner work means. And this is such a gorgeous analogy for inner work. Is, the same thing happens with us as humans. We have this belief, which is a very culturally conditioned, is that we are victims, that life is happening to us, where everything that comes at us, like, oh, we just can't keep up, we can't do anything. Hello, beautiful. And we have this feeling that life is just happening to us, and we are victims to our circumstances, that we just have to battle and fight and make our way to create the best possible outcome for ourselves. We have to control our outer environment in the best way that we possibly can. Then the inner work is our invitation to really tune into our hearts, to really go inwards, and it's an inwards journey. As Rumi says, many may walk the path with you, but no one can do it for you. And this is the same with inner work. Nobody can do it for us, but we can do it together, which is why we've created NetNomads. But that's beside the point. The point here is that when we look inside and we, disassociate ourselves from our outer environment, we get to see that we are so much more than just this identity of what we think we are. And in fact, we are multi-dimensional cosmic beings. I mean, if you think about it, the Earth is part of this magnificent cosmic galactic, universe. It's a multiverse. Is absolutely gorgeous with so many beautiful creatures. Doing our inner work is this process of going into the pupa stage, creating this cocoon around us, and tuning in with our higher selves, and it's allowing the higher dimensional aspects of us to come in through us, and each of our energy centers is that point. We are, imagine if this is the part that we can see, when in actual fact we are, the rest of the hand as well. And it's through our energetic centers, the chakras that we have, that they are the catalysts for the energy. And by us giving attention to ourselves, our inner being, we are allowing more of that to come through. And the more we do that, the more we realize and feel, and just, the more we do that, the more we realize and feel and just experience the multidimensional aspect of who we truly are. And at that point, it's this process of surrendering. And for a long time, I really battled with the concept of surrender. It's like, why must I surrender? Who am I surrendering to? I don't want to surrender. Holding on to the identity of who I am, or who I thought I was. So for me, surrender has really come to the understanding or the visceral experience of life is not happening to me, life is happening for me. And that is the surrender process for me. This is my understanding of surrendering, is that we are surrendering to the higher being of who we are. And we're allowing that to love us, to nurture us, to care for us. It's not us trying to take control. It's us going, okay, I don't know everything about life, and you know what, I actually don't need to. I don't need to know everything about life, and this is the beauty of this. This is what makes it even more exciting. The life is happening to us has really been predominantly a masculine energy. It's about control and structure and organizing and a lot of thinking, a lot of thinking. Whereas the process of surrendering and sinking into the trust of life is happening for us is a lot more of a feminine principle, where we are just receiving. We're going from the like doing and giving and giving and giving, and we're coming into a state of receiving and just allowing our higher selves to come through us, which is it's beautiful. There are my process has been seriously intense, absolutely intense. I mean, there've been really, 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 really difficult times, but throughout that, I've really known that I've been supported and loved by myself, my higher self, by God, that is me, whatever word you want to call it. And to be able to surrender that trust to this higher self is just so liberating, because we don't have to control, we don't have to force, we don't have to, like grind and hustle and everything like that. So it's also interesting because the meditations that I'm resonating with have changed as well. In the beginning process, it was like really large, these are the actions you take and blah, blah, blah. It was all about, learning the process. And the deeper I've got, the quieter I've needed. It's really about just shutting out all the external noise and just really tuning in and just feeling the bliss, feeling the joy, feeling the love, and knowing that it comes within me. It is me experiencing me, just being, not having to do anything, just being. This is what being in the pupa stage is all about. And then the next phase, which is super exciting, and this is what, this is my understanding of the new earth, is where we get to shift into a state of allowing life to flow through us. So the first phase is life is happening to us. Then we go into the phase of life is happening for us, where we accept that everything that's happening in our life, there is a gift in there for us, that there is happening for us. There's a benefit for us if we choose to see it that way. And then the final phase, well, in my understanding, the next phase is really understanding that life is happening through us, that the universe can do for us only what it can do through us, which is just such a beautiful, beautiful way of being. Because it's not about chasing, it's not about forcing outcomes, it's not about control. It's about us listening to our higher selves, being in tune with our higher selves, and letting our higher self flow through us. And I call it higher self. You can have whatever name resonates with you. It could be God for you. It could be life. It could be the quantum field. It could be whatever it is for you that works for you. And in this way of letting life flow through us, and we become creative change makers for the greatest good. And my understanding of how this works, and this is what's been happening with me as well in our daily life, is you get inspiration, you get ideas, you get, things like pop up and you follow it. And then, you end up being at the right place, the right time, with the right people, the right resources all show up. And it's not so much about needing to hoard, needing to control. And a beautiful analogy for this is life is going to become like breathing, where we just automatically breathe in and we breathe out, and we breathe in and we breathe out, and there's no like we don't have to hold our breaths in case we don't have breaths anymore. And I know what it's like to not have breaths, because I have had serious asthma attacks before in the past, where your breath is your life, and without your breath, this identity, and it doesn't exist here for too long. So it really is about tuning into this aspect of us, and letting it come through us. And for me, this is how we are bringing heaven on earth, because we're allowing it to come through us. We're allowing it to saturate our cells, our thoughts, our emotions, every layer of who we are, because we are really multidimensional beings. I mean, we have the physical body, the cells and the atoms and the organs and blah blah blah. We have our energetic body, we have our emotional body, we have an intellectual body, and all of these are like layered within it. And not to mention the different dimensionalities of the different chakra points. So we are so much more incredible than everything that we've been led to believe. It's so beautiful. This new way of being, of existing, of experiencing life is really like a treasure hunt, where, it's how is my higher self, how am I going to delight myself in this experience? Because the outpicturing of what we are co-creating, you have your own state of being, which is creating your reality. I'm having my state of being, which is creating my reality. Someone else is having their state of being, which is creating their reality. And then all of the patterns that are matching come together. We end up in synchronicities. This is what synchronicities are, is when these energetic patterns meet up and life unfolds, which is just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And, this has been my process in creating NetNomads and creating Cosmic Quasquillionaires, where I've not known what the outcome was. You know, I've got the ideas, and I've you know, like I felt it and thought about it and cogitated and did, you know, the whole creative process. And then I've gone ahead and like created it, thinking that it was going this way, and then something else comes like, oh no, that's not what it's meant to be. So we like change it this way. Then, you know, going down and blah, 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 create the whole thing. And then the more life is unfolding through me, the more I can see, you know, that this is the path that it should be taking. This is where it's going. And it's just mind blowing. I mean, the stuff that has come through me, and I've written through it, and I understood it this way, and I'm seeing it now. It's still relevant, but in a completely different perspective. And it's my unfolding of this and the journey that I've taken to get from there to here. That's the excitement. And in my understanding, this is why we're here, is to experience this journey of discovery and uncovering and remembering. And, you know, it's not about the end result. It doesn't matter what the end result is, because we will never get to the end result. It's about this journey of becoming. It's the process of becoming. It's becoming the change we wish to see in the world. Isn't that cool? That together we are becoming the change we wish to see in the world. Just like Andy said, that if we want peace and love in the world, then we must be peaceful and loving, because that's what we're bringing into the world. We are co-creating. We've been created in God's image, and we are here to make manifest the glory of God, which is just I'm so deeply honored and grateful to be on this path and to be walking this path with you. And let's create a magical, magical world where love and peace and harmony and compassion and joy and care and community is prevalent, and we care for Mother Nature, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful world. So thank you so much for watching. If you feel called to join us over at NetNomads, or come join Cosmic Quasquillionaires, which is all about tuning into becoming this creative change maker for the greatest good. This is what it means. This is what I'm referring to. It's a beautiful process of unfolding into, you know, the radiant beings that we are. Thank you for co-creating this beautiful world. Lots of love. Bye.